Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is Sunday, September 7th. It is an eclipse day, right? It is the eclipse in Pisces. It's a lunar eclipse. And members, right after this at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, we are going to go into our channeling sessions with the Ra and angel members. We will do the Archangel Raphael channeling. But to start it off, we're going to do an eclipse ritual. So I think that will be really nice. And I just want to remind everyone that was looking for psychic development classes. I know a lot of you have joined already. And I just want to say it starts this Tuesday, September 9th. The information is under posts here on YouTube, and it's for angel level members. You will get a Zoom link. This is the first time I'm doing something on Zoom. And it will be for 3 Tuesdays every month. It will be interactive. And if this is the time that you finally want to learn how to read tarot for yourself, September 28th, I am doing a tarot class at the Awaken Your Mind and Above levels. It will be about a 4-hour class. That's a Sunday, September 28th. And you may want to check that out. So, all right. How is everyone doing? Let me know that you can hear and see me okay. Hello, Nancy, Muriel, Roberta, T. Jones, Lee, Diana, Palma, Kathy, Adam, Pamela, Light Worker, Scorp Lady, Vegan Aries, Tara. Hi, Dave Garfield. All right. Welcome, everybody. Sounds good. Thank you, Pixie. Okay. Beautiful. All right. So, as you know, the White House is in chaos. We're going to look at two things today. The White House being in chaos, and the CDC is just collapsing under the rule, I guess, of RFK Jr. And we need to look at that. We need to talk about this. It's just bizarre. All of what's happening just seems so bizarre to me. It's almost theatrical, isn't it? So you have 45. He's a president that's actually faced with major issues, right? Our country has major issues. But the powers that be around him, they're doing things like it's almost like when you give a little kid a toy to distract them, right? So they're saying, okay, make a big ballroom. Let's do the Oval Office in gold. Let's pave over the Rose Garden. It's like they're giving him these little projects to occupy him. And so I think it's to distract him while the adults are actually doing other stuff. And the new one, I have to say, I was to the point where nothing surprises me. But then Mike Johnson this week came out and said 45 was with Jeffrey E. so much because he is an FBI informant. Really? Oh, Lord. You can't make this stuff up. You just can't. And the beautiful part is, throughout 45's career, he has given so many interviews and he tweets so much and he posts so much that there's always something to counteract whatever happens, right? So I don't know if you saw that he was literally in an interview in the Oval Office a few years ago saying, yeah, I have nothing to do with the FBI. I never have. So it's just bizarro. And then what was it, Monday, the live that he did from the White House, which was, I think, just proof that, like, hey, I'm still kicking. But if you notice, when they started to zoom in close and people were doing screenshots and they were zooming in close, there was clearly makeup over a bruise. So I do believe that I was correct when I said that he had had some sort of stroke. And there's many different types of strokes, and the way you get affected changes everything, right? And like I also said too, a president would get a level of care that we just wouldn't. They have staff right there to take care of their every whim. And so I do believe he is extremely sick. I think the question at this point is what takes him out of office first? Is it his health, or is it this Jeffrey East scandal that's not going away? It just isn't. We saw the victims, the survivors of uh, Jeffrey and, his cohorts speaking. And, it's heart wrenching, but they're not going away. I will say intuitively, they are going to disclose a lot. I do think so. If you're questioning why they didn't do it right then when they had all the cameras on them, the message I got was that they need to find a way to do this and be safe. Once they do this, they're going to have all kinds of very wealthy, high profile people coming after them. So if they, and I shouldn't say if, when they do disclose these names, they need to be in some sort of witness protection program. And 45 is going to fight that tooth and nail. You may have seen, or maybe not because the news is so chaotic, he pulled the security from Kamala Harris this past week. So, so his mind is not on protecting innocent people. And so I want to take a look at let's take a look at what is the thing that pulls him out of office, because I think all of us are intuitively feeling like his days are numbered. Is it going to be a major health crisis, or is it going to be the scandal that just won't quit? I'm going to pull some cards. Let's take a look. Unless it truly is a combination. Lee brings up a great point that some of his followers are catching up on the ridiculousness. Yes. They are even saying, look, release the files. But now, he's saying, well, there is no files, but he had to be an FBI informant for something that doesn't even exist. It's just bizarre. So, yes, we all feel it coming, June. I agree with you. So, what happens to him that takes him out? I'm sorry, the ring light is glaring. King of Swords, obstacle, Five of Cups, outcome cards. Well, there he is going. We've been getting this card recently for him, haven't we? Six of Swords. There's only 3 cards with the characters turned, they're back and they're going. They're going. Oh, geez. Okay, you can't make this up. Well, I just said there's only 3 cards. Well, that's 2 of the 3. Yes, I understand he's going. Interesting. The World card. And if I go to the bottom of the deck, the Fool. I want to look a little bit closer at his obstacle, the 5 of Cups, and then I'm going to break it down for you. Okay, this is what I think is going to happen. I will break down the cards, but looking at them as a whole, using my intuition, what I think is going to happen is these files are serious. What's about to happen to him is going to come crashing down. But no matter what, because he has a lot of ego, there's a lot of arrogancy, he's going to say it's his health. Now, I do think he legitimately has health issues, don't get me wrong, but I think he is going to spin it to say, oh, I'm so sick. Okay. So the significator card is the King of Swords. To me, that is a litigious legal card, right? So this would suggest out of the 2 things that I was looking at, health or the files, this would be the files. Okay. Now, obstacle, crying over spilt milk, regret, remorse, sorrow over something that is very official. Okay. So I do believe I am correct. And then here he is literally going 6 of Swords, 3 of Wands. back is turned, he is leaving. We can all feel it, right? We can feel like he's not going to finish out this term. He just isn't. I don't think anyone that's psychic, that even the ones that like him, I have seen astrologers and psychics on YouTube that like him that are still saying, I don't think he's going to finish out this term. So to me, this is just spirit saying, yeah, we're on the right track, everybody. He's leaving. He's, ending one phase, starting a new one, right? What's interesting is with the world card, if you see, this makes a big 0, and the world card actually relates back to the Fool card, which is the 0 card. And, yes, he's acted foolishly, but this is actually him leaving too. Oh, there's Maggie in the background. Yeah, even Maggie agrees. So he's definitely going. I would say the real reason will probably be because of scandal, but he will use health as an excuse. Okay. No, I do not see him relocating. I really don't. What psychics like him? Oh God, there's a million. Oh, and some of them have huge followings. And yes, Gavin Newsom is hilarious. His team is mocking him perfectly, but it's also showing how ridiculous all of this is. The way he speaks, the way he acts, it is ridiculous, right? All Gavin Newsom is doing is just mirroring that. Okay, so let's take a look at the CDC. So the CDC, they've had a lot of issues, right, under RFK Jr., to say the least. They've fired leadership. They have mass resignations, disbanding scientific advisory panels, deep budget cuts and layoffs. States pushing back. So, here is the thing. And if you are somebody who is living outside of the US, here in the US, depending upon what state you live in, you could be living in a very different reality. So, what the CDC is doing really isn't affecting us in Massachusetts because our leaders have said, no, you're still going to be able to get what you need, and you know it will be fine. They're coming up with their own advisory panels and all of that. So I'm looking at all your comments, sorry. So yeah, I think it's really going to depend upon what state you're in, how much you are affected, but a lot of the states are pushing back for sure. What I wanted to look at was, one, the future of the CDC for the rest of the year, but two is RFK Jr. himself. So these eclipses are not good, right? So we were having an eclipse today, and then there's an eclipse in Virgo. It's a solar eclipse on the 21st of this month. And these are hitting, his 6th and 12th axes, right? So like his health axis in astrology. So 6 is your health, it's your daily routines, it's your work. 12 can literally be about endings. Yes, it could be a job ending, but it could also be, your exit out. And so I think these eclipses are not going to be good for him. And I do not see him lasting past December, January. I do think he's going to be gone. I actually think he's very sick. I really do. I don't think RFK is very healthy. I think he has a lot of health problems, and I think it's going to come, boiling up to the surface here, as well as people are not happy with his decisions, are they? So let's look at the CDC for the rest of 2025 and how they're going to do. All right, so CDC. Here we go. All right. So significated card, Page of Pentacles, I'll hold it back here. You can see it a little bit better. So the obstacle, 10 of Cups, the card of happy endings, happy families, peace, love, and happiness, right? It's also the card of good health. Outcome cards. Okay, so they're going to bounce back. Ace of Wands, Queen of Swords, and at the bottom, Six of Pentacles. So when we look at the future of the CDC, you know what? Something is saving them clearly financially, but Pentacles is also a card of good health too, right? And so we want to see that for the CDC. So I think they're going to be fine. They're going to get the support that they need. I think that this is going to be something short-lived that we have to put up with. Unfortunately, we know that this time of year is when people have a tendency to get sick, right? We're all starting to go back indoors, and that's when people get flus and colds and anything that's contagious. So it's an issue. But this also says it's temporary. Now, this is going to affect, this is one of the few cards that has like adults, kids, the land, the house, so this would be like Americans in their homes, families. So yeah, I think it is going to have a negative impact in the very short term. But what I would say is I do think he is going to be leaving either the end of this year, beginning of next. And then it goes to this beautiful, fertile new beginning, Ace of Wands. Aces are always about new beginnings, right? And this is a fertile new beginning. And so it will go forward with new policies, new leadership, new rules and regulations, Queen of Swords, that are fair and balanced. Six of Pentacles, and they will get the funding that they need to hire people back. So I feel very optimistic. So you can't look too much at the micro with everything. Take a step back and look at the macro. The macro is fine, and I've always said that even with this presidency, the macro is fine, right? We're going to be fine. We need to go through this for whatever reason, but it's when you look at all the little details, like renaming the Department of Defense Department of War. It's to just distract you. It's to rile you up. Don't feed into the game. Close out the noise. Now, before I look at RFK Jr., if you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, check out membership. There's literally 5 years of courses there, from meditation to opening your chakras, meet your spirit guide, working with angels, all those channelings, 5 years worth of channelings. Lots of good stuff. You can look at the playlist now before you join. So, all right, let's look at RFK Jr. So all right, this is September to October, November, December, January. I'm going to say, let's look at the next 4 months. Thank you, Jenny. She says membership is amazing. I have a robust membership. It is not some casual, I just hit, the on button and start talking. I create whole courses. Plus, I say all the things that I can't say on here. Okay. All right, RFK over the next 4 months. Interesting card to get, Six of Cups. Obstacle. Lots of youthful young cards here. Page of Wands. Four of Swords. Okay, so that's lining up with what I was saying. Six of Pentacles. Interesting, the Star card. So what I'm going to say is, yes, I do think he's not going to be part of the CDC, but his life goes on. And we've seen this with other high-profile people, with wealthy people, that, yeah, they lose their current leadership position, but then they find something else, right? And so he's going to be returning back to whatever he did before. I have no idea what this man used to do. Heavens only knows. But he's returning back. So that tells me, yeah, he's reverting back to what he previously did. His obstacle is not getting good news, getting news that is not enthusiastic and passionate from those around him, people that would be responsible for keeping him in power. He is sick. This is a card of sickness. When you're looking at if somebody is sick or not, yes, this character is flat on his back. If he sits up, he gets stabbed with swords. So, but then he finds something else. Okay, he does. He finds something else. So he goes from one job to the next, and he's actually quite happy. He's quite satisfied. He's not leaving the US. He's not dodging, the country to go to some foreign shore. No. So, but what I would say is I really do think he is going as CDC. Well, actually, what is his title? It's not actually the CDC. It's he's like the head of health here in the US. And yeah, he is going. He is going. So let's finish up with a card pull. This is Trust Your Vibes Oracle Cards by Sonia Chaquette. She's a wonderful Hay House author. Thank you, Health and Human Services. Thank you. We've been talking so much about the CDC. I was like, wait a minute. So he's not actually, like well, he kind of is in a way, though, the head of the CDC. He needs to be more respectful of people that were the head of the CDC. Oh, cards are jumpy. You know what? I think 3 actually fell, and so I'm going to take them. Yes, perfect. 3 fell. I'm taking them. Okay, so 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Which one do you feel guided to? And it can be more than one. That's fine. Can be all of them. Here we go. Number 1 is free your creativity. Yes. And it's orange because that's your sacral chakra. It's below your belly button, like in your pelvic area. And allow yourself to be creative, sing, dance, write that book, whatever it is that you do to be creative, do it. This is the time to take that hobby, that side hustle, and level it up. Start that business. Take a class just because you enjoy it. Okay. Number 2, accept support. I find that so many of you, you're light workers, you're empaths, you are so good at giving to others. You just give, give, give. But when somebody offers you help, no, you don't take it. So accept support when it's offered. Okay? You can't give from a dry well. And then I love this. Number 3, new beginnings. Look at the butterfly. You've gone from the cocoon, you're spreading your wings. And with this eclipse, you're having this beautiful new beginning. You've ended one phase, the struggle, that journey. And now you're coming into something lighter and brighter. You're coming into the sunshine. So I love that for you. All right, everybody. It was a pleasure making this video. And if you want to join me, at 7 p.m. Eastern time, which is in 35 minutes, for a live eclipse ritual and the raw channeling. That's at the Awaken Your Mind level and above. And then after that, for the angel members, we're doing the Archangel Raphael channeling. So don't forget, this Tuesday starts the psychic development classes. Those are live, right, through Zoom. So you can look at the posts that I put out. All right, everyone, it was a pleasure. Enjoy your week this week. Bye, everyone.